In this video, we're going to look at another question involving trig identities, trig in the Cartesian plane, the cast diagram, and we'll finish off with the trig identity at the bottom. And so let's dive into the question to see what it has to offer us. So we've got in the diagram R is a point in the first quadrant, and TOR makes an angle of A. RO is extended to P, so that OP is double the length of RO, and TOP is B. It's given that sine A is 3/5. And so what I would do for starters is just drop a line to the nearest x-axis. That's always a good habit for these ones in the Cartesian plane. And sine, looking from A, is your opposite over hypotenuse. And then if you needed to work out OT, which is probably a good habit to work out the third side, it would just be Pythagoras in reverse. So OT squared would be the hypotenuse squared minus the 3 squared. So that's 16, and square root of 16 to get just OT is 4. You've got to just look and see if it's 4 or minus 4, depending on which side it is. Always look out for that. And so without using a calculator, determine the value of tan A. So looking from A, tan is opposite over adjacent. So that's just 3/4. Calculate the value of sine B. And so a good thing to notice is A, this little angle here, would also be A there, vertically opposite. And so to get all the way around to B, the entire angle of B is actually just 180 plus A. And so I can rewrite 5 to find sine B. I can call it sine 180 plus A, and then I reduce from there. So 180 plus is in the third quadrant. And in the third quadrant, 180 plus is where sine is negative. So it's negative sine A. And then I can just go back to my A angled picture and say sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So it's minus 3/5. Then 5.3.3, we're looking at the coordinates of P. And so P, because the line's been extended, and we know that OP is double, we can just double all of these measurements. So let me do that for starters. So the X is 4, so now the X will be 8. The Y was 3, so the Y will be 6. And this length is doubled, so it's 10. Those numbers themselves are all correct, but now again, like I said, in the Cartesian plane, you have to just think what their actual signs are. And so 8 would be -8 because this side is where x is negative, and the 6 would be -6 because you've gone down 6. And so if they need the coordinates of P, it would just be the x value and the y value, and just like that you've got it. Obviously, if you're showing you're working out for this, you'd just be timesing these lengths by 2. Last one, proving the identity. Let me do it up here. And so to prove the identity, what I like to do to save time is, if there's something like tan, immediately just fill in that identity. It's sine over cos. It was times cos squared. To be safe, because the one thing became a fraction, I'm just going to make this a fraction. All over cos minus 1 plus, and then again, when I see a squared, my brain is starting to buzz, and I'm thinking sine squared is 1 minus cos squared, that identity. And so immediately I'm just going to change sine squared to 1 minus cos squared. You might say to me, why didn't you change this cos squared when you saw squared? It's just because I can see that tan became sine over cos, and I can see and anticipate they're going to cancel, and so it won't be a squared anymore. So I'm less excited about it in that sense. I also look at the bottom and see that everything at the bottom is involving coses and 1s, and so it's probably better to change sine squared to 1 minus cos squared. What that leaves us with on the top line is cancelling of 1 cos with one of the coses, and so I'm left with sine theta minus sine theta cos theta. On the bottom, the -1 + 1 will disappear, and I'll just be left with cos theta minus cos squared theta. And then any section of maths, whenever you feel utterly stuffed, then you've always got your friend factorizing. And so on the top line, I'm going to take out a sine, and I'm left with 1 minus cos. On the bottom line, I'm going to take out a cos, and I'm left with 1 minus cos. Those brackets will cancel, and I've got my answer of tan theta. And so 2 things about this question, in addition to what I've said. The one is just the importance of filling in information constantly as you go, like the seeing this tan was sine of a cos and the sine squared was 1 minus cos squared. Do that in the same step, and then do your cancelling and simplifying 1 minus 1 in the same step, so that you don't end up doing little bits of alterations and ending up with 10 different steps along the way. If the question's only for 4 marks, it's probably only needing roughly 4 steps, 4 alterations to the question. And so don't take too long giving your life history by doing too many steps. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, please like it, subscribe to our channel, and share this with your friends. Thanks.